Okay, day 68, week whatever it is. 50 days till election day. That's where we are. But this is day 68 of This Is Not Advice. And one of the things we love to do is have guests, and we've got an exciting one today. This week, we're going to talk about questions that might come to you as you are considering or in the earliest days of starting a company. This one applies more broadly, though. I'm here with an expert who is Lori from Sounding Board, in which we're proud to be investors, which is a coaching platform. She's co-founder, chief coaching officer at Sounding Board. And so the question is, how do I know if I need a coach?
Yep. And the answer is so simple, because the answer is yes.
All right.
And here's why.
49 seconds. We're out of here.
Yeah. It just is yes. If you are thinking of starting or you have started a high growth company, then as a founder, your own personal growth has to be really rapid as well. And if it isn't, you end up becoming the roadblock to your company's success. So there might be a timing to when you use a coach, but basically to be successful in that rapid scaling environment, you need a coach.
Well, okay, but so hold on. Let me push back on that for a second, because lots of the best founders in history didn't have coaches. So when you say you need a coach,
they did have coaches. It was just during the time frame where that was behind closed doors and it wasn't visible. So
we all have hope, but hold on. But I think that's not what we're talking about, because we all have coaches in the sense that we all have like people we talk to who coach us. Mm-hmm. And so when do you know if you need a formal trained coach, like a coaching relationship professionally?
Yeah, that's when you need a neutral, objective party who has those skills to help you go to places you haven't seen before. And yes, we have like amazing investors who can tell us the hard truth as well, but they're not neutral.
Yeah, no, that's different. I'm not talking about investors. I'm talking about
friends or
exactly. But I mean,
the thing about a coach is they're just always on your side. Their agenda is for your growth. It's not anything else.
Yeah, I've felt that difference for sure. Of just like we all have like people you can ask. But, maybe we don't all have them, but
yeah.
So I'm fortunate to have them. But, you go to a friend and ask your friend, it doesn't matter how much they care about you. It's an ask whereas the coach is just there for you, nothing else. There's like a simplicity to the relationship that they're just there for you. And we can do on other days, like, how do you know if they're good or whatever? But I want to give you a chance to do an ad for Sounding Board as one way to find a coach. But I also love to ask, if Sounding Board didn't exist and you said, okay, maybe I do need a coach. How do I figure that out? Let's do first, if Sounding Board didn't exist, what would you do?
If Sounding Board didn't exist, I would ask around my network of people who I think are successful as a founder and a CEO and get their coaches.
Great.
And you'll be shocked to know that many people have them, even if they're not out front.
Yeah, it's interesting, because one of the stigma issues around this is it's fading, but there's still a stigma issue around saying, like, I have a coach. I mean, I do. I've worked with her for more than a decade and she's amazing. I don't know if there's a stigma in being asked. If somebody asked me, hey, do you have a coach? Who is your coach? I'd be flattered. I'd think like, oh, they must think I have my act together.
Right. Exactly.
All right. And so how does Sounding Board work for people who want to use Sounding Board?
Oh, Sounding Board is actually an enterprise coaching solution. We do the entire coaching management with a one-of-a-kind technology, as well as the coaching services. So as a founder, we actually do service a lot of startup companies as well. We started in the startup world, but then, moved on to enterprise. And you can always reach out to me. I have actually a really large network of coaches, obviously. Sure. And happy to make recommendations for folks.
Awesome. One last little thing, because one of our longtime and frequent viewers, Secular Humanist here, says he feels like he's being sold a personal trainer at the gym. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but how would you draw the distinction between a personal trainer at the gym and a coach?
In some ways, it is similar, because you have another person kind of pushing you beyond your self-perceived limits. But the difference is in a founder relationship in a startup company, it's well beyond just accountability and standing there making you do things. They're really a thought partner for you, helping you think in novel ways, helping you go beyond what your easy top of mind answer is, helping you develop yourself in ways you hadn't thought of yourself before. Yeah. So accountability is like, 1/16 of what you get from a coach. So in
I love that.
Not all like a.
Yeah. What I've seen in my own life is my coach is extremely talented. And sometimes as happens with anybody, as you're talking something out with them, you're like, wait a minute, I think I know the answer to that question already, but I wouldn't have come up with it had I not had the occasion to talk to her about it in that moment.
Right. That's why I call them a thinking partner, because they're actually not giving you advice.
Sure.
They're giving you an opportunity to deepen your thinking.
Yes. All right. So with that, we'll close today as This Is Not Advice, and back the rest of this week, even while Bloomberg Beta, our team is doing our home site, as Min called it, where we go nowhere but connect with each other deeply, which we do once a quarter. And Lori, thank you for joining us. Thank you to you and Sounding Board for inviting us on your journey. And if anybody has other questions for us, ask away. We get these questions from all of you. And if you find this useful to somebody, please feel free to share it.
Great. Thanks, Roy.
Thanks, Lori.